Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cards. This is going to be your reading for Saturday, January 9th, 2021. It's a general reading for all signs, and we are going to be using these 7 decks today. And I will shuffle on camera in order to make the video shorter for you all. So I'll be right back with your first card of the day. First up, we have our numerology guidance card for the day. And that card is number 56. And this is indicative of relationship change. 56 is a master number that equates to 11. And 11 brings new beginnings. So the relationship indicates that there's a relationship in your life going through a period of change. Know that the adjustment's inevitable and necessary for the progression of your life path and relationship, and that the wisdom gained will be of great benefit to all parties involved. This does not specifically mean a romantic relationship. You could have a child leaving home, a partnership, a loved one, a friend. It could be a neighbor, a work colleague. Just know that the divine is guiding and protecting you. You just need to show up and have some strength. This isn't always a negative change. It can be declarations of commitment, new contracts, an ongoing dispute can come to an end, so there can be a reconciliation. Just know that during this period of transition, it's important to remember that as you grow and evolve, relationships with people grow and evolve. Just be flexible and adaptable to it, and know that all is well because you are divinely protected. Up next, we have the Santa Muerte deck. And today, we've drawn the One of Swords, and that's in reverse. Again, ones indicate new beginnings. And the Ace of Swords means that a strong conquest force or genuine intelligence that can be penetrating and aggressive. The One of Swords is a very dynamic card that's aligned with high ideals. For this reason, though, something could become sinister and bringing excessive behaviors up to and including violence. This is kind of alarming with the relationship change card. So, having a heightened awareness today is really going to help you. The advice from the dead for today is to carefully evaluate and choose the direction in which you want to channel your abundant intellectual and subconscious energies. We subconsciously manifest things, and if we more consciously try to evaluate, the less subconscious we're going to put out there. So today is just a day to be really heightened. Our next card today comes from the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. And what's been drawn is in reverse, but I'm going to flip this around for you guys. Major Arcana number 19, the Sun. 19 resonates to a 10 in numerology, and that can be the end of a cycle and completions. Clarity, I definitely stressed with the last card. The reality is gaining clarity might hurt, but it's better to see clear than live in haziness and blindness. This card states that even though we may have a clear and perceptive vision, we're still not seeing things clearly. It's just what we think we have. Know that the solutions are right in front of us, but we've been looking the other way. We need to really open our eyes and ears, actually, in order to see things clearly. And again, this can go back to being careful to what we're manifesting. Sometimes we actually get what we ask for, And if we're not very clear on that, we may attach some things we didn't want with it. And sometimes they're a little hard to undo. Next up, we have the Alice in Wonderland Oracle. And what's been drawn today is the number 10 again. Follow our own good advice. Trust ourselves. At the end of the day, we know what's best for us. There's going to be times when we become overwhelmed and begin to feel if there's nothing better at all than to collapse and try to turn into ourselves. Really, if we feel we've made some kind of error, and it's understandable. And, we have to be allowed to express who we are and how we're feeling. Anytime we make an error, it can be helpful to stress over it a little bit, just a little. But once we've done this, continuing with any type of sadness or remorse serves no real purpose. When we receive this card, it means that we know what we need to do. We need to be clear. We need to ground and center ourselves so that we can strategize on what to do next. This card also will tell us that we do know what is best for us, and we most often give ourselves the most excellent advice. However, we're guilty of often not following it. We go against that gut feeling, that intuition. This card's gently advising us to settle ourselves emotionally, detach, be more analytical to think through a problem, and that we can calmly move forward without further criticizing ourselves and being too harsh. Harsh self-judgment for a mistake or an error is not healthy. An unmet personal expectation is causing sadness. And we need to detach, find clarity, be analytical, follow that intuition we have, which is always going to have a practical solution. We just need to be open up to find it. And today from the Enchanted Map, another reverse card. So I'm going to flip that around for us. Number 54, which resonates to a 9. The card itself is encouragement. 9 is generally a number that, we're almost there. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's getting ready to, put our ship into dock, but we still have some work to do. The map indicates that this card itself is telling us we're receiving a nudge in that right direction, getting to our end of a cycle, completing something. And in reverse, this means that we may have, taken a misstep, but it isn't the end of the world. It can go back to the Sun card that we pulled in reverse. We may need more clarity. We may not have followed our own advice, just as in the Alice in Wonderland Oracle. We could have fallen into a trap of self-courage that only humility is going to lead us out of. This means that we definitely weren't listening to our intuition. We've got ourselves into a jam. We could have been listening to other people, and we could have been too self-reliant on something and not knowing the ropes and, not wanting to ask for help. This is encouraging us not to become too discouraged. All is well. We can always start over again. Trial and error, take a new direction, discover new territories. Just remember to rely on our higher powers. The divine's always going to provide and guide. And they know that our needs. Something better is just around the corner. We just need to stick with it and be trustful. And our Wisdom of the Oracle card today, which happens to be my newest deck that I'm still getting used to, is card number 30. That resonates to a 3. That's the card of community and collaboration. In this deck, this is the TikTok card. This indicates timelessness, immeasurable time, more importantly, divine timing. Humanity has begun to look at life in a linear way, imagining that, the past is behind them, the future is ahead of them, and, what if that's really not true at all? Everything is created for us to go back or go forward, so everything isn't always just about the present. We really need to let go of our need to shape each moment with expectations. There's valuable lessons in the past that we take to the future. It's not always about just living in the here and now. We need to know that what is ours will never be withheld from us. Miracles are in the here and now. They show up right on time. That could be, if you're familiar, it's in our Akashic records. In regards to love, the fulfillment of desire, and even our body's reproductive cycles, they have their own timetable. Some things are just preordained and can't be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine timing, and this is especially important in matters of the heart. We have enough time to find and nurture love. That clock is eternal. Just like the beating of our heart. I mean, truly, no one lives forever, but it's in a perfect rhythm. Love's always going to come right on time. In regards to prosperity, that's co-created by our endeavors and effort, and that comes back to, being able to clearly see things. Part of our manifestation. The divine knows what we're doing and is co-creating with us. So stay positive and make a commitment to remain in that high vibrational wave. Everything is going to align with our highest calling, and there's nothing to fear. We'll never run out of time for the important things meant for us. Our miracles are ours and no one else is alone. We're in capable hands with the divine, and that, encompasses our guides and angels and ancestors, and our journey is ensured not always to be easy, but it's always going to be a learning experience. Therefore, we can let go of any anxieties that we have, because the divine is never going to deny us our highest good. It is, the all divine timing. So what we need to do is just show up, relax, and ride the wave. I know I did this a little different today. I am actually upstairs rather than in my normal space. Tomorrow is going to be the same setup here. There's just too many kids in the house right now to do it in my normal space. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it gave you some introspection. And actually, I have one more deck. I keep forgetting about this deck just because it's so ass-handing. I really have no other word for it. Hang on. I'll be right back. And I'm back. This is the last card. This is the Blind Spot Oracle. And today, what's been drawn is number 25. 25 is the Seagull of Resistance. So we are not admitting that there's a tug of war occurring between yourself and someone else. So definitely this is going in hand with the relationship change. Change is definitely on the forefront. And we're being blind to it. When it comes to our internal resistance and, oppositional force, we're most likely denying our gut feelings. And then we start to deflect. When we're met with resistance from the outside, it generally breeds feelings of contempt and anger. And, this is just really not a pretty situation. So what we have to do is become aware of our resistance and kind of just let go and let the universe's collective take the lead, where we just show up and relax and know that we're divinely guided. All energy is going in one direction, and we shouldn't be resistant to that. We need to dive down and pull up the anchor so that we can just go with the flow. The process is going to be determined for us by, the certain circumstances. But our resistance deserves to be acknowledged and treated. It is valid and important. We're not going to be able to arrive at our highest good the more that we resist. The universe doesn't like it when we resist. Our path is predetermined for us. We are going to go through trials and tribulations. It's a way to make us appreciate what we have even more. So the opposition really, trying to throw that wrench in our divine plan is just going to hold us up. And at the end of the day, there's not all the time in the world. We are on borrowed time from the minute that we begin to breathe. The rule of thumb is that we have to directly deal with resistance first before doing anything else. No action should be taken from a place of resistance. This is really teaching us to be, more analytical and logical and calm. Seems as though, those of us seeing this message are definitely in for a roller coaster ride. If you're like me, I use the roller coaster analogy because they give me serious anxiety. We just have to try our best to stay calm. Know that, I rely more on looking towards my ancestors. But the collective of the divine really is going to give us what we need. It's just not always going to be easy. Bad things happen. Horrible things happen. But there's always a lesson in it. So, just like the sun card with the clarity, it's easier to dwell on the bad in a situation rather than to look up and see the silver lining. Because that's definitely easier said than done. With that said, I definitely want to wish you guys a really great Saturday. I'll be back here tomorrow. I know I have 2 new subscribers, so thank you for subscribing. Comments, likes, subscriptions, and sharing will definitely help grow this channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you that finds this message.